All right. Hindsight is 2020, and again, I don't expect people to watch this, and I don't expect the person that I'm talking about to watch this either. But you think that something happens, say maybe 13 to 15 years ago, wouldn't affect you in the present, but it does. You know, our choices and our decisions have fallout, they have blowback, especially from such nuclear events. They have repercussions, they have consequences down the road. And some of them are terminal. I say that with a bit of melodrama or hyperdrama, even. Because that's what it's like to be young and in love, right? Everything is so vivid and so intense. And there's no love like the love in your 20s. That's how I feel about it. And I met this woman and she swept me off my feet. I just madly head over heels. I didn't even know about any of her problems up front. Of course, that's usually how it is. I didn't need a dating app to meet her. Just met her through some friends. And through the process of the relationship, you start seeing warning signs, right? And furthermore, this is a commentary on loving a mentally ill woman and loving someone that was or is suicidal. And you're just doing your best. You're trying to give them all the love you can. And even though most of the time it feels effortless, like it should be like that, but then you don't have money for a ring. Your career is basically giving you an ultimatum. Either you move somewhere else or you stagnate and you don't get a job and you don't have a career. And then all of a sudden, through the education and because of your partner's values, or her values in this specific case, that she gets involved with politics and becomes radicalized and hateful and spiteful and starts blaming certain people for her problems and for society's problems. And then not only that, her friends are pressuring her, and this peer pressure is real. The societal pressure, especially, is being or is and was felt by the most vulnerable of our society, which happens to be young people, right? The naivete. And I give her a warning. I'm telling you, it's not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. I had already seen what was happening in my own time at university, and to see her go through the same thing was tragic. Because life is not a polar opposite dichotomy, especially when it comes to dealing with anything within the humanities. It's more nuanced. It's more complex, and because you don't bend over into this hypergamy of ideas and this egalitarian supremacy. Love everything, accept everything, tolerance, truth and justice for all, even when that doesn't happen all the time. And then you become consumed, and the relationship starts breaking down. And then, because of the nature of young women, they become very manipulative. Very manipulative. And again, the fallout is that the friend group blows up, and then you try to find someone else, and something similar happens, and the pattern keeps happening. And it's not because of you, it's because of what we teach women and what women teach other women as to what's acceptable and what their place is in society. So I watched an innocent woman who was very caring, funny, witty, intelligent, become consumed by this movement. And other women the same. And I lost female friends because of this. And then, because you're not on board with them, you have disagreements, or you have unspoken passive aggressiveness, unresolved resentment, and then hatred. And you're going through panic attacks even though you're still in this relationship, and you're trying to put out all these fires no matter what. Because that's what it's like to be in love with a mentally ill woman. Is that you're always putting out fires, and everything has the potential to be set off like that. And you're doing everything you can. Now, the fallout of that is that, well, unfortunately, people open their mouths and they talk. And all of a sudden, you don't have a love life, or you don't have the possibility of a love life, because the hens have been talking to each other, and it just explodes into this thing that has no foundation in reality or truth. And no matter where you go, you're always thinking about this and trying to figure this out. And that's the monster that we created. Not just women, but also men too, because we allowed it to happen. That's how I feel about this. I want this to change. Because I spent a year in prison because of shit like this. And it didn't need to happen. There wasn't a lesson to be learned. And so many people have been hurt, and even more have committed suicide because of politics and because of hostile attitudes and radicalized ideas. That's all I have to say.